Memphis Wrestling. We're right here in Jackson, Tennessee at the Event Center. The big night to remember, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I've known this man, I'm not going to tell you how long. Dave Wills, he is wrestling's #1 fan worldwide. This man is known all over. And let me tell you, Dave, Memphis Wrestling, you're probably one of the biggest fans that didn't live in Memphis.
That's right.
That was a fan of Memphis Championship Wrestling.
Absolutely. When I was younger, I grew up and started following wrestling back in about '86, way after Georgia Championship Wrestling. But we had the Joe Pedicino Superstars of Wrestling block for 8 hours. And one of my biggest challenges was to stay up to watch Memphis, to see the great stars like Lawler, Dundee, Rich, Gilbert, so many of them, and to be here at Legends of Memphis Wrestling and a night to remember is just such a privilege and an honor. And I tell you, I can't be more happy because Memphis Wrestling, it's still wonderful today. It's fantastic. It's still my favorite. It's still real to me, damn it.
Yes, man. I knew you would get emotional on me, Dave. We've known each other for so long. Hey, love you, man. Love the business. Love Memphis Championship Wrestling. Love this man, Dave Wills.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.
It has been a crazy 6 to 8 weeks, but we survived it. It is over. I am sad, but at the same time, I am thrilled. The way it happened, the way it went across, the way people loved the event. It was great. We have Richard Hood saying hello. We have Sunset saying hi to Thomas. We have Thomas saying hello to Angela. We have Angela saying hello to me. We have Thomas who was there and spent some money on me. And that was exciting as well. Yellow again, everybody. We survived. Randy Hill's here. And I want you, if you ever have wanted this show to grow, help me promote, share this on Facebook, share it on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on anything you can, because this will be a historic show. We've had a series of show promoting. We'll have a series of show showing you highlights as we just saw from Dave, and that was great as well. We have some great pictures that we'll show in a minute. But the man that survived it as well as I did, coming from Birmingham, Alabama to Jackson, Tennessee, back to Birmingham, Alabama, then to Georgia, and now in a hotel room in Georgia where he spends a lot of his time, not because of his wife kicked him out, it's because he's trying to pay those gimmicks called bills. Hey, let's bring in right now a surviving member of Talking Memphis Wrestling. He made it. What are your thoughts before we get into the body? And we promise videos coming, Pat. Videos coming. They look great.
I'll tell you that opening with Michael and Dave was absolutely fantastic, and I will say this to start the show: the unsung hero of Talking Memphis Wrestling, we don't see him enough, is Adam Dunn, and he did a fantastic job in filming and helping us produce our event, and a true brother to me. But
By the way, Pat, there was somebody laying that son of a bitch out.
Well, I understand that, and we all appreciate that as well. And It was a team effort. So except me, and I just kind of hung around. But
No, you
anyway,
were great, and we will see you later. Tell me the favorite thing, your favorite one thing.
you know, gosh, Randy, there was no favorite thing other than just being with all our people, being with the King, being with the superstar, being with the rock and roll, being with Michael, being with you, being with Adam. Adam and I had such a great time together.
Did y'all
Uh,
get drunk together?
no, we did not get drunk together. I didn't have a beer the whole weekend.
And Adam
Uh,
don't drink. And I
well,
didn't drink either.
well,
But there
there
was
we go.
some, hey, here's the thing. There was some drinking going on, but I saw nobody screwed up. Nobody.
No, and I got to meet so many people that are just I just love in our community. I got to meet Gail. I got to meet Eddie Austin. I got to meet Dave Wells. I got to spend time with our friend Brad Collins. BC was there. We spent a good bit of time together. I mean, it was absolutely like a family reunion. And as you get older, you lose family members. I've lost my parents and grandparents, obviously, and but just having the opportunity to spend the time with the people that I love who love Memphis wrestling, it was the weekend of a lifetime.
As I understand that BC Mutilator is saying that most of the Facebook comments are not posting. Probably the one on my Facebook, the one on Talking Memphis Wrestling, one on Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame is. So I'm sorry about that, folks. I don't know why that happens from time to time. Carlton Steve Robb is in the house. Eddie Austin is in the house. Jeremy Gibson in the house. We're going to look at some pictures. We've got a bunch of them. We'll start with the pictures, Adam, that I stole from Shane Russell's Facebook. It's toward the bottom of the picture section, and it starts with NTR1 and goes with the rest of them, and we'll take a look at now. This is the Spellbinder, Harry Del Rios. Pat, I'm going to go through this quick. The Spellbinder, as we continue to move on. This is a classic picture of Jamie Whoopi. PG-13, both styling and profiling. Terry Golden inducted to the Hall of Fame. From Shane Russell, here is my main man, Handsome Jimmy, that I stuck with him like glue, and he is a great, and Pat knows that, Handsome Jimmy, and here's a candid picture from the stage, a beautiful setup. Here's Jerry the King Lawler. A classic picture with Shane's sign, and here is Dave Brown, a picture of Lance Russell and Shane Russell. Great picture. Picture Tony Falk and Shane Russell. Picture Handsome Jimmy Valiant and Shane Russell. Hey, how about this? Shane with Nightmare Danny Davis, who went into the Hall of Fame. Kerry Morton and Shane Russell. Love seeing Kerry for the first time in years. Your thoughts real quick.
Well, well, again, it was such a great night. Got to have dinner with Bo and his nephew Jake and Dr. Tom and Gail and Wildfire were there, and just so many people that I got to visit with and be with, and you really don't understand what this is all about until you get at a live event like this. And it's just everybody is just there for the same reason. We're all connected in our love for Memphis wrestling. We're all connected in our appreciation of you, Randy, and you and Terry for putting all this together. Uh, it was just a special 2 days.
All right, and I appreciate, couldn't have done it without you. I want to say hello to Bo James. Throughout this show, we will go back and we will relive some of the great events from this past Saturday night at the Picture Perfect Event Center in Jackson, Tennessee. We're going to go back from the very beginning, how this show started, and a beautiful, beautiful performance by Pat Rose's son, Camden Smith, as we go back to Jackson, Tennessee this past Saturday.
To welcome you to the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony, a night to remember the legends of Memphis Wrestling, the Hall of Fame 2024. At this time, we would like to introduce our good friend, Pat Rose's son, Camden Smith, to come and sing the national anthem.
BC Mutilator, BC Collins, having trouble on Facebook. This is great.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you guys so much.
That was fantastic. Just gave me chills. And Pat, before you give your comments, I'd like to say, folks, I've done it. Several songs that he's released. He is a country music recording artist. Folks, support Camden Smith, the son of wrestler Pat Rose. Camden Smith, absolutely 100%. Go wherever you purchase your music and you get and support that young man. It was awesome. Did you have chills with the singing of the national anthem, Pat?
I had chills, and I'll tell you a little story. Before he passed away, I had the opportunity to meet Charlie Rich. And Charlie Rich was friends with Elvis. And when the Memphis Showboats were in the WFL, Elvis was a part owner. And Charlie sang the national anthem. And he came back up to the box and he said, "King, why didn't you sing the national anthem?" He said, "That's the hardest song in the world to sing. I can't sing it." And I know how, people that are professional musicians talk about how difficult that is to get right. But when Camden sang that, I had chills up and down my spine.
Absolutely. We have more from the ceremony. We also have more exclusive footage right now from earlier in the evening as Michael St. John ran into one of our old announcers, one of OVW announcers, Mr. Dean Hill, as we go and see what Dean's doing.
Michael St. John back at the night to remember Memphis Wrestling being remembered here at the Jackson Event Center tonight. And you run across so many people you meet throughout your career. I was very young in my wrestling career when I met this man, the legendary ring announcer at the Louisville Gardens, Dean Hill. You may or may not recognize him. The mustache is gone, the glasses are gone, but this is the man, the voice of Louisville wrestling. And of course, you worked up there when there were matches that were filmed in Louisville with my good friend and a man that mentored me throughout my career in Johnny Randolph from Wacky Radio.
Johnny, great young man, Wacky Radio was just down the road from Louisville Gardens. We would go by from time to time and wave at him through the booth window, and he'd wave back, and some of the other people that worked there as well. Matter of fact, from working there for so many years and going by, I was one of the few people that ever looked through the Rolodex.
That's right.
And I actually know Coyote Calhoun's real name. Don't worry, I won't tell everybody.
Yeah, but what another Louisville legend. Number one night guy, then the number one morning man in Louisville after the great Bill Bailey for all those years at Wacky. You were started out, though, as a Louisville police officer. You were running security at the Gardens, and that's sort of how you got in the business.
That's exactly how I got in it. I was a Louisville police officer from 72 to 95, and in the late 80s, just a little bit before that, I ran security at Louisville Gardens for like 17 years. And in 1988, the ring announcer couldn't be there one night, and they asked me if I wanted to do it. Well, I was always a class clown, and heck yeah, I wanted to do it. They couldn't be there the next week, and Miss Christine said, "Can you do it again?" Yes. So I came back the next week in a jacket, a tie, a little bit more prepared.
Gotta look the part, right?
That's right. And I found out that basically if you just lower your voice just a little bit, from the Lower East Side of parts unknown Louisiana, weighing in at 255 pounds, he is. And at the end of that night, Christine offered me the job.
That's
and
incredible.
So I've been in it. From that, I went to Ohio Valley Wrestling with Danny Davis. I did his first 1,100 TV shows. I was in the business for 32 years, and it was an honor.
That is awesome.
Almost honor, as good an honor as meeting Michael St. John.
Well, thank you, Dean. I got to ask you, though, there was one match I remember so distinctly in Louisville, Kentucky, with Fargo and the Sheik. Do you remember that?
I don't remember the details of it. I remember that they were going at each other one
Nick
night.
Goulas was having a real problem drawing. And he went in business with the Sheik, and the Sheik started booking for him and coming down and bringing the talent in. And Fargo and the Sheik went at it at Louisville Gardens, and it was probably the wildest melee that I have seen probably in my life. But I remember hiding under the table at ringside to make sure I didn't get involved.
Yeah, the fur flew that night,
Exactly,
to say the least.
Exactly. Dean, you look great. Thank you so much. God
My
bless
honor.
you. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you for remembering me. I appreciate it.
All right.
And let me say this one last time. I'm Dean Hill. See you at ringside.
That was good. That was funny for sure. What did you think about Dean Hill from Louisville?
You know, I had not met Dean, but I had the opportunity to visit with him a little bit, and what a great guy. And I'll tell you, you know, you go out in your life and you do a lot of different things, and Dean was a decorated police officer, but at the end of the day, we all share the same thing, and that's love for Memphis and Southern wrestling, and it was just fantastic to meet him. And you know, how about Michael St. John, Hall of Famer, walks in the door, "Hey Pat, how you doing?" Grabs a microphone and starts adding to the event.
Did a fantastic job, as did you, all night long. It's Talking Night Memphis Wrestling as we remember the night to remember with exclusive videos. The next portion of the show is I'm going to pop this out there. The part of the program that I was looking forward to is the rivalry of the ages. Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee. You see that picture of a belt that was presented to both Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, as you will see for sure. You will see in the middle of this clip. We are going to start with this celebration with the rivalry for the ages. It starts with the guys introducing the segment all the way through, and this will give you chills, everybody. I encourage you, as the numbers are good on this show, before I call for the video, I'll let Pat comment before you guys see it. We have good numbers now, folks. You don't want to miss what to me was the highlight of the event, and there was many highlights. But man, Lawler and Dundee celebrating the greatest wrestling rivalry ever. We will see in a minute. We need more numbers. Our numbers are great for this time of the show. Folks, let everybody know what's happening here on this show today. And I understand that Facebook can't comment. We're not getting all those comments. But Pat, they can check youtube.com or Twitter. youtube.com/@RandyHills is the best way to do it. Man, were you really anticipating the Lawler Dundee thing?
I was anticipating it a lot, and I got the chance to visit just briefly as they were on their tables with both the King and the Superstar. And Kevin, great to meet you too. I really enjoyed our time together. But I was I obviously I was honored to induct Michael later on in the show, but I was backstage and was standing close to the back of the curtain when they went out, and they were both kind of standing there, and the King turned to Dundee and said, "You ready, Superstar?" And Dundee turned to Jerry and said, "Let's go, King." And they both walked out of the stage, and that just sent cold chills up and down my spine. It was just a wonderful, 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 wonderful memory.
PJ is in the house. She's watching on YouTube.
Hey, PJ.
Folks, we have some people from Facebook. I think that's either the Power Pro page or the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame Facebook page. The Randy Hales page, I'm sorry you can watch it, but you're not getting that as all. As BC is saying, Lawler Dundee tribute was awesome. Those belts were a nice touch, and it really was. And we're, as a part of the Lawler Dundee tribute, we're going to go all the way through this to the end of that tribute. And folks, you got to see it. You got to see it. And our mics will be hot, but we probably will be engulfed in this thing, and we probably won't talk. But Pat, I'm just letting you know we can. As here we go, folks, to A Night to Remember, a tribute to Lawler and Dundee.
These next two guys can probably tell you, write a story, a long story
Shane
about
Russell
the feud between
did a
Lawler
great
and
job
Dundee.
with Dave Brown,
They have a
Pat.
lot in common with me. We're both sons of Memphis legends, Jamie Dundee and Kevin Lawler.
We got one microphone or two? We'll share this. I will hold it for you, Mr. Lawler. Man, you know what? The best thing to me growing up as the son of the Superstar Bill Dundee was when he was kicking Jerry Lawler's butt, man. That was my greatest thing. I thought, yeah, you get him, Daddy.
Well, if I was going to say, if that was the greatest thing of your childhood, then you must have had a pretty bad childhood, because we all know that my dad was kicking your dad's ass the majority of the 50 years of that rivalry through the ages.
Wait a minute. Well, wait a week. We're near
Let's ask the people. Let's ask the people.
Bill Dundee, let me hear it. Let me hear it from Bill Dundee. All right, come on.
And now what about for Jerry the King Lawler?
I think we won by one crazy gale. I think one crazy gale took that right over to the Dundee.
That's classic.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to do tonight, is come out here because, it's a little bit different for Jamie and myself, because just like everybody here, we grew up, huge Memphis wrestling fans and fans of Jerry the King Lawler and Bill Dundee. But to us, those weren't just the guys that we saw on TV like everybody else. Those was our fathers, so we saw these guys, not only as our fathers, but also as our heroes. And that just made, our life, so special, growing up with these guys. And then,
hey, did your dad ever pull the strap down before he grounded you? I just want to know. He's like, that's it, Kevin. You're going to your damn room.
well, no comment.
I understand because, I understand. But, there's something that I still to this day, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if they were working, bro. I watch a Bill Dundee and Jerry Lawler match, man, and my dad is really kicking your dad's ass, bro. I promise that. I was watching it. I don't know if them dudes were working. I still don't know. I don't know because.
Well, I'll give you a little insight on that.
Okay.
The parts when your dad was kicking my dad's ass, they was working. But the times when my dad was kicking your dad's ass, that was a total shoot, 100%.
It was, and you know what else, Kevin? Your dad shaved my mother's head, man. That's not. I mean, come on, bro. That you know how traumatizing it is at 8 years old when your mother and father both come home bald. Do you know what that's like, bro?
Well,
I mean, really.
I was real young back then too, but from what I understand, that was actually an improvement. That actually made your mother look better.
Okay.
But anyway, all jokes aside, we're here tonight just like everybody else. We want to just, pay homage and respect to two guys that, I mean, not only was the greatest rivalries, you know, over the past 50 years, but also the greatest tag team partners, you know, over the past 50 years. And, I mean, these are two guys, I mean, two men, two icons, two legends that not only just, you know, stood the test of time, but also through a rivalry of the ages. And we're here for these guys tonight, just like everybody else. And when they come out here, we got something that we want to give to them, a special presentation in honor of being, you know, the king and the superstar and having this tremendous rivalry.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the rivalry of the ages. Let's bring out the king, Jerry Lawler, and the superstar, Bill Dundee.
Adam Gunn for compliment Adam. What a great video. Video work by Kevin Waller. A great job for Kevin. The whole event, but especially that night. Everybody standing in Jackson, Tennessee. How many people have chills watching this? Dougie over Brandon back to it. We're glad to be flying downtown Bruno.
All right. Gentlemen, welcome. It is good to see both of you always. Anything you want to say about the rivalry, or do we just keep going?
Well, let me just say, I don't have much to say about the rivalry. I think every time see the tubers, they know all about our rivalry. But I just wanted to say thank you, everybody that has come here tonight. It has been a great honor, and it's been a great night to see you all out there tonight.
Thank you, Billy. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Dave Brown. Thank you, the king, and I've enjoyed kicking your ass for the last 20 years. And if it comes up, we may do it again tonight.
Oh, me. We do have a special presentation for you guys tonight. This is a special piece of artwork which was commissioned, and there it is, one for each of you. It shows the two of you being interviewed by Lance Russell.
Who is that
Referee
guy?
Jerry Calhoun is on there. Great looking piece of art right there. So, gentlemen, congratulations.
Scott Middleton in Kentucky.
Okay, Scott Middleton in Kentucky put this together. Scott's art.
Okay. Now call Jamie and...
Ready for us?
All right. Jamie and Kevin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are wonderful dads.
I've got these for you guys.
Right here, Bill Dundee.
Tag team champions once again, right here.
Yeah, I want to know one thing. We want to know why Lawler's name is on top. The Dundees want to know why his name is first. Lawler's older than you, so that's why he's first. Hey, listen, Pop, I just want you to know I've been a wrestler for many, many years, and I still, to myself, don't know if you and Lawler were working, man. You two dudes did it so damn good that I still don't know if it was a work or not. You two dudes are really the cream of the crop, brother, no doubt. Man, nobody can do it better than you two together or against each other, man. That ain't no doubt.
I'll drink to that.
I promise. The chemistry and the chemistry of our business is defined when you watch Jerry Lawler versus Bill Dundee or Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee together. It don't get no better, man. I promise you, it don't get no better, King.
That's right. Well, thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome, Pop, and I love you, man. And this right here is for you. And Kevin has one for the King, because y'all will always be our tag team champions, right, bro?
Hey, let me ask you a favor.
Yes, sir.
The next time you see your mother, tell her I didn't do half the shit that said I did.
I have defended you my whole life.
I know that.
And she say to me, son, you're full of bloody shit. That's what she said.
Kevin?
You know, I have to agree with everything that Jamie said. You know, the reason that we wanted to do these belts tonight was just, you know, a symbol, you know, of, you know, just the excellence that you guys were, you know, as rivals and as, you know, probably the greatest, you know, tag team partners in the history of Memphis wrestling. And that's what these belts are here to represent.
I just want to say thank you so much for these belts. They mean so much, especially when I look at my name is on top of Bill's.
Hey, but they said that was just because my dad was going to go over. That's right. I was going to go over in the match, you know. But for real, King, man, there's nobody better than you two dudes, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Rivalry for the ages. Superstar Bill Dundee, Jerry the King Lawler. Please enjoy this tribute video to these two fantastic wrestlers.
Great video that Devin got it
You know, I
right.
told you about his old lady, this old haggy keeps home up natural. She told him, she said, Bill Dundee, let me tell you something. Don't you come home if you lose that hair, because I don't want to never see that ugly face with no hair on it. That's his old lady. That's Dundee's old lady right there. Look at that.
I'm going to sit and laugh at you, Lawler. That is the greatest thing. To quote Jimmy Hart, this is the greatest day in my life. Jerry Lawler finally couldn't do it, Daddy. He said he used to win all the big ones. While I'm standing here, Jack, looking like $1 million, and you having some gutter somewhere.
Let me tell you something, Dundee. You little stinking, rotten, low-life shrimp.
Oh, it's hard to be humble when
Dundee,
you're
you're going to stand here in front of everybody on television. You're going to stand here in front of all of these people and admit that you don't have the guts to give me a rematch. Is that what it is? You don't have the guts? Is that it, Dundee?
Hard to be humble when you're as great as I am. I can't wait for the morning, Lawler, because I can get up and look in the mirror. I get better looking every day.
Let me tell you something. I know the mistake I'm making, Lance. You see, Dundee's real happy right now. As far as he's concerned, he's sitting on the top of the world. When you're real happy, you don't want to give anybody matches. The only way you want to give somebody a match is just like I did a while ago. You got to be a little mad. Well, right now, Dundee, you're glad. But you just wait a few minutes, punk, because I'll make you mad enough to sign this match.
Just bring me your crown, boy. Just bring me your crown.
You've made your bed. Now you're going to have to lie in it. Nobody cares about the superstar Bill Dundee anymore, brother. And you're going to be gone after I get through.
No, the only thing that will be going after that match, brother, is the word superstar, and that crown will be on my head. This belt will be around my waist, and I'm going to strut around this Memphis.
Let me tell you what you better do with it.
Watch these punches if you can see it the way we're showing the big screen from the venue. This is one of my favorite videos of all time. Look at the bumps, look at the punches. It's just absolutely amazing. The music, this video put together by Randy West, who is watching here tonight. We can't see his comments. Randy Dandy is watching. Don't have a softball game or a football game tonight. Look at this great stuff from Lawler Dundee. Here comes Dundee, Lawler in the rivalry for the ages. Pat, what do you think? You're muted, Pat.
I didn't want anybody to. I didn't want to interrupt, but the work Randy did on that just carried so much of the history and brought it alive so much. It was just wonderful to watch.
Michael, what do you think about this great video we had been watching? And we don't want to talk over the ceremony as far as when we get into talk, but this gives me chills also. It's Lawler, Kevin, James, Jamie Dundee, and Reggie B. Fine, Brandon Baxter, Doug Gilbert, Tommy Rich, all out there. Just real quick, isn't this amazing, Michael?
It was an amazing moment, and you can tell how enthralled both Superstar Billy and Jerry were watching this thing. Incredible.
See the smile on both of them. It makes the whole damn event and the work we did just fantastic. Now let's listen to the people here as they leave.
Well, I tell you what, was that unbelievable? What a feud. I got to say something to Kevin and Jamie real quick. I think actually my dad may have been the smartest one because he just held a mic out there and stayed out of the ring. So,
sure enough. Do we look like them, don't we? We look like them 25.
Hey, I tell you what, if you folks haven't seen the back of these jackets, could you guys turn around just real quick, show the back of these jackets? These are unbelievable. Look at this. The Superstar and the King.
Having those designs.
Dave.
Gentlemen, thank you. On behalf of all these fans, thank you for that fabulous action. That kind of action right there is why Memphis wrestling was so good. Jerry the King Lawler, Bill Superstar Dundee.
Let's get a big round of applause. Come on!
Oh my goodness. Anybody that didn't have tears, especially if you were live, you don't have a heart. I cried multiple times. I mean, I might cry right now. The greatest wrestling company of all time. We're celebrating stuff. Some of the stuff we celebrated Saturday night in Jackson, Michael, happened 50 stinking years ago. Happened 50 stinking years ago. It was an amazing night. But right now, Michael, I want you to welcome yourself into the show as you're running, had work to do. It was a tremendous night. And so far today, I don't know if you've been watching, we've showed you as the roving reporter. We have more of that left. We have more inductions left. It was amazing, amazing night.
You know, I think my wife summed it up the best on the way home. She said, you know, I went to this and I wasn't expecting what I got. And she said, you know, I've never been a big wrestling fan, and I've watched you sort of with, you know, tongue in cheek and who did I really marry? And she said, after being there and meeting all these people that you were associated with, worked with, shared time with, she said, I understand now your passion. She said, I understand now your passion. She said, that was the most well done event that I've ever been to. And I have to say, and I'm not taking anything away from anything or anybody else, Randy, that was extremely well done. I was so brought emotionally to near tears when Pat introduced me, being that someone that I think I tweeted the message that the brother I didn't know I had until I met him, for what you did, for what Pat did, for what
Adam
did behind the scenes. I mean, man, it takes my breath away. And I'm like you, I could probably cry right now because I was brought to tears several times. But I think the best part of it all and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I didn't feel like I was in an event or a show or a ceremony. I felt like I was at a family reunion. And I felt like that not only with being with the boys, and Pat and I were sitting in the back, and I turned to him and said, this is like it was when we were in the locker room back in the day. I mean, the boys were cutting up, they were talking, there was no animosity, no bad words. It was just fabulous. But the thing was that the fans were so engaged and so wonderful. I bet if I talked to one, I talked to 200. And I don't think any event could ever eclipse what happened Saturday night as far as the fans go. And for so many people to come up to me and say such nice things, I'm taken aback, I'll be honest with you. But the funniest thing of the night, my grandson Joshua had a ball. And Randy, I don't know what magic you had, but he was being shy and coy around everybody else. But boy, when Randy Hales walked up and said hello to him, it was like, oh, it's Uncle Randy. Oh, cool. And hugs and the whole 9 yards. But 3 fans, 2 of them asked me and 1 of them asked my wife, where was the cat? And that was it, the crown jewel of a perfect night. But what a wonderful ceremony for Jerry and for Bill. And to see their faces watching that video and talking them in the back and talking to them out at the tables. I know they were thrilled, and I know the fans were thrilled. And the greatest thing about it, we celebrated a moment in time that we'll never have a chance to go back and reduplicate. Life goes on, but we will never be able to reduplicate what we had that night. It was so special for the people that attended and all these wonderful people that I got to meet in person that are right here on our list of folks today. But it was such a wonderful event to bring us all together in the name of what you call the greatest wrestling company of all time. I will certainly agree with you, the greatest territorial wrestling company in the history of the world, Memphis Professional Wrestling. God love you, fans, and I love you guys.
Very well said. As Pat said earlier before you came on, as soon as you walked in the building, Adam grabbed you, put a microphone in your hand and said, go get it. And we saw you so far, just so you'll know where we are in the show, we opened up with you talking to Dave Wills. We also saw you talking to Dean Hill, the Louisville wrestling announcer, and now you are in the crowd. You ran into Jamie Dundee, and I haven't seen this.
There's only one. There'll never be another. JC Ice.
Yes, sir. But now we're back to Jamie Dundee. JC Ice, that dude was crazy, Michael. And you did the first interview with me when I was 20 years old, and I think I quote you said this: "The son of the superstar to turn out like this."
Listen, there has never been someone. This man has become one of the true ambassadors of wrestling. Wrestling the way it was meant to be. Because Jamie, we all learned. You grew up a block from where I live.
Yeah,
your son, my son, and you played together at my house.
Very much so.
And he's a football coach. You are a legendary wrestler.
Yeah.
But I am so happy to see you. I can't tell you how great you look.
Man, Michael, you too, my friend. I just knew right off the bat, I'm like, he didn't age at all. He dyed that hair just so we thought he got a little older, man, because it was 19 years old when we did an interview. I am 53 years old. What are you, 28, 29?
God bless you. I'll be 73 in about a month.
I don't know what it is about y'all generation. My dad, Handsome, you, Lawler. I don't know what's in the water, but y'all need to pass it down, bro, because, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how great you
got the great genes, my friend. And you are a tremendous competitor in the wrestling ring.
Yes, sir.
So many times. I couldn't imagine you taking the bumps, you were one of the greatest comeback kids in the history of the business.
Yeah, it was because nobody told me that I was too little. I'm Bill's boy. That's what I'm Bill's boy. No way we too little. We're Dundees, man, and you back that dog in the corner, he gonna bite you, Michael. Sure enough, man.
Now, you've just signed on with the Wrestling Network or Wrestling Network?
Yeah, it's called WLN, the Wrestling Legends Network. They're gonna make a Jamie Dundee channel. You get to go on there and just click, and you'll watch all of my career from when you did the first interview with me when I was 19 all the way up till this interview right now, I reckon.
Let me tell you, I'm never, ever so pleased to see you in great health, to see you you in great shape,
Yes,
and
sir.
to hear you, and you're the man, Jamie.
Well, thank you,
God
Michael.
bless you.
I appreciate it,
God
bro.
bless you.
And I think so because it's 15 years of sobriety, and man, this life is beautiful, man. I get to wake up every day and say, man, life is good for once, you know.
Hey, he's my friend. I don't want to call him a protege of a legend, but he's a legend himself.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
My friend Jamie Dundee.
Thank you.
That was just great. And I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen that at all. Jamie, you have to think in your mind anytime you bring Jamie in, honestly, is he going to come? I was confident because Michael and Pat, you were both in the dressing rooms. This was not just a payoff to the wrestlers at all. This meant something to everyone there. And did you see their eyes when they saw the plaques for the first time?
Man, I tell you, it was incredible. And Jamie, I was shooting there. I can't lie to you. I was shooting there with him because I was so happy to see him sober and in great mind and great spirit. And he's always been a talker. I mean, he got that from Daddy, but he's always been a talker. But to see him cognizant and coherent, and to see him, that's the Jamie Dundee we all knew and loved when he went off the rails. But to now see him back for 15 years and counting, God bless him. I said that in all sincerity at the end of that interview. God bless him, because he's been down the road and he's back, and I'm so happy. I mean, this was a young boy. As a young boy, he's 5, 6 years old, playing with my son in the house. They're playing with the wrestling figures and all the stuff that kids did back there in Hendersonville, and I was just thrilled to death to see him in good health.
Pat, real quick, your thoughts on that great interview from Jamie?
I mean, that was absolutely great, and you know, to see the sons of, and I got an opportunity to visit with Brian. I mean, not Brian, with
Kevin,
and a little bit to visit with Jamie. Although when you say hello to Jamie and then you just kind of sit there and let him go for a while, but he had a great fun. But the one thing I would mention is, you know, what an outstanding job Shane Russell did with Dave. You know, those are big shoes to fill. And, you know, Shane loves wrestling as much as anybody I know, and just did a fantastic job. And it was just, I think, Michael, you said it was a family reunion in a lot of ways. And I enjoyed got to visit with Dave for a little bit and visit with Shane for a good bit. And, you know, I see him when I'm in Pensacola, and we have a watering hole we like to rehash Memphis wrestling with down there, the Wisteria in Pensacola. But anyway, just you know, Jamie and Kevin were both on top of their game, honored their dads in the most appropriate way, and it just, as a father, you're just, you know, it just kind of warms your heart. It really does.
We are remembering the night to remember with exclusive video, and I wanted everybody to know that next week on this program, a week from today, next Tuesday, we will see the induction of PG-13. Can't wait to see that. That was great as well. Later on tonight, we have more. Right now, there's one we want to show you that I had the honor to come up to the stage and speak for the first time that night at Night to Remember at the Picture Perfect Event Center this past Saturday night in Jackson, Tennessee. We'll watch my induction and then watch the Spellbinder. Hello, everybody. Are you having a good time? I just changed my mind what I wanted to start off with. The first idea in April, when I got the idea to come to Jackson, Tennessee, me and Terry, we decided to do it. The very first idea, Russell and Brown together again. This event wouldn't have been what this event is without Dave Brown and Shane Russell, and I thank you guys very much. As a kid, from the time I was 10 years old, I got hooked on this business, and I was able to live my dream, and I see these people out here that were my heroes. Every one of them, from Mo to Danny to Tony, especially, I'm going to skip you, but to the superstar Bill Dundee, used to sell his pictures. I love Tom Pritchard. He's great. I love Downtown Bruno. I was scared of the dirty white boy. But this has been fantastic. It is my job to induct a guy, and the first word that comes to my mind right now is this man is a survivor. This man at 25 years old, you might not know this, Danny, this man at 25 years old in the Bronx, New York, Mo, he was shot. He almost died. He died and they got him back to life. But what did he do? Everybody say with me. He survived. He survived. And then he started working out and getting big. Impressive strength, impressive look. And to tell you the truth, somebody told him he used to be a wrestler. 1 million bodybuilders wanted to be in this business, and Danny Davis, the greatest trainer ever, and Tom Pritchard, a great trainer too. How many bodybuilders have you seen that were here for a cup of coffee? Tell me. Oh, plenty. Absolutely. But what did Spellbinder do? He survived. He survived, right, people? What did he do? He survived. You're damn right. Then, several years ago, retired from wrestling. He had a heart attack, and he almost died. But he's here today, so what did he do? He survived. It is my honor, the person I talk to, any wrestler I talk to the Spellbinder more than anybody. I am proud. It's an honor. Want to bring him out here and induct him into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. My friend, Harry Del Rios, the Spellbinder.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Randy. Randy, that was some speech. The boys in the back wanted to start a GoFundMe page. Just give me a second. I wrote a couple of things down with people that I have to thank, because this started about 25 years ago. A lot of people know this, a lot of people don't, but I was a professional magician right before I started bodybuilding and getting into fitness. So I have to thank Mr. Jeff McBride, a master magician and master of magic and teacher. I also have to thank Vito LaGrasso. You guys know him as Big Vito for WWE and WCW. He was the guy that taught me a lot of things. He's the guy who prepped me for my first wrestling match ever, which, by the way, my first wrestling match was a tryout with WWE and Monday Night Raw. Also, I have to thank Jerry Lawler and rest in peace Brian Christopher, my best friend, who I miss very dearly, and I hope he's resting in peace. I'll tell you what, guys, wrestling has been like another life to me. And going up and down the road, whether we were driving or flying, it was like a family. I rode up and down with guys like Danny Davis, Tom Pritchard, Bruno, and I love all you guys. Hey, listen, just want you guys to know, Doug and all the rest of you guys, when I tell you I love you right before I hang up, I mean from the bottom of my heart, I love you. and I really appreciate you guys being a part of me and being a part of my family. I want to thank my friends for coming out, my pastor Terry Hunt and his wife. I want to thank my wife Marcia. I love you, hon. I thank my friend Dave the cop and his son Elvis for coming, very supportive, helped me. And I want to thank each and every one of you that tuned into Channel 5 Wrestling, that came to the Mid-South Coliseum or any one of the towns that we were at. I want to tell you I appreciate every single one of you, and I love every single one of you. Thank you, and have a good night.
All right. Had the honor, my friend the Spellbinder. What did you think, Pat?
You know, I got a chance to spend some time with Spellbinder, and what a true gentleman, and I did not know his whole story, but he said he's been on this show a couple of times, I believe, and always enjoyed having him as a guest. But just what a warm and kind and caring human being. I mean, I really enjoyed being with him.
Real quick, Michael, what did you think about that Spellbinder interview?
I thought your introduction was spot on. Survivor, absolute survivor. But and when you look at the Memphis professional wrestling, you look at wrestling in Memphis for all those many years, Spellbinder perhaps didn't get the propers, but he was a tremendous asset to the business and to Memphis Championship Wrestling. And for him to be in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, absolutely a fabulous pick.
We have more next week. We'll get to as much as we have edited today. Here's more from Night to Remember in Jackson, Tennessee, the 2024 Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Back with Pat Trammell and Michael St. John and myself, Randy Hills, after we watch this from Night to Remember.
Michael St. John, I am with the Living Lantern. Manager Danny Davis, General Danny Davis, a man that not only was a great worker in the ring, but a man that has given so much back to the world of professional wrestling. Danny, it's great to see you.
Hey, it's very good to see you, my friend. Very good to see you. And I'm going to correct you. I wasn't a general. I was sergeant.
Sergeant
Danny Davis.
I was working
for the Blonde Bombers.
And the Blonde Bombers.
Yeah.
And I was working for Nick Goulas.
Yeah.
When you were doing that.
That is correct.
That is amazing. We go way back.
Way back.
Now, Danny, I know you're living in Florida now.
Yep.
You had such a great run at Ohio Valley Wrestling up in Louisville with our good friend Jimmy Cornette.
Yep.
I mean, this business, it's changed, but the people still have the passion.
People do still have the passion, I don't know if it's as genuine as it was, back in the day, but it's still, they do have the passion. And, I think it's a great thing. I mean, we're more mainstream nowadays than we were back in our younger days.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, it's good.
And you've done so much, of course, training wrestlers, but also your knowledge of professional wrestling. Back when you were part of the Nightmares, teams were smaller, but boy, could they go.
They could. Being a manager and tag team wrestling and being a single tag team wrestling was my favorite. We were small guys, but the Nightmares were a team that when we faced an opponent, they knew they were in for a tough night. They knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk. And for small guys, we held our own. I
have to ask you a question as somebody that has developed talent, has run the schools to bring new wrestlers into the business.
Yeah.
Why is it today so many wrestlers, back in the day, you guys would call it in the ring, hardly ever you would see a legit, an injury.
Oh, exactly.
I called a match when Don Kent broke his shoulder in Birmingham. There was some things that
Right.
happened. But
Right.
Today, it's like the injured list. You get an injured list on Monday for professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's crazy. Back in the day, we did just do things on the fly, but we kept everything pretty much in the ring, unless we were in a situation to where it called for, outside the ring. But we wouldn't push the envelope like they do today, because that wasn't our time. It was not our time. Because we knew our boundaries, and then we didn't want to go beyond that, because if you go beyond a certain boundary, then you're into a different territory of what
Realism,
the business is,
yes.
of what it is. And when you do that, not only do you put your body at risk, you put your opponent's body at risk as well. So back in the day, we chose not to perform that way. We kept everything as much as we could tight and close in the ring, and we did what we had to do in a safe fashion so that we didn't actually harm or hurt anyone.
And wrestlers, when they were in the ring, they took note, and when the fans left the building, they left with a passion, and they knew it was real.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. There's a saying in this business amongst the guys and the gals is that less is more. And all it takes is someone to do what he's supposed to do. Listen right here. Listen to a veteran telling you what to do and how to do it. If you listen to him and you execute what he's telling you, you will be a much better performer.
Fantastic words from Sergeant Danny Davis. I love you, brother.
Thank
Good
you,
seeing you.
Michael. Good seeing you.
Good seeing
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
It was great. Rapid fire, Pat.
Just great to have Danny on a couple weeks ago. I mean, what a fantastically nice guy. Enjoying being with him, but one of those guys who has seen every single side of wrestling there is to see, from working, from managing, from promoting, on, and from training, on and on and on. Love to be with it.
That was a good interview, Michael. Great.
Thank you, Randy. I love Danny. He's one of my favorites. I was teasing him that on the bus trips back and forth to Dallas, he was the one that was the entertainment director because he always had something for us to watch or talk about or see. I will say this about Danny. I don't know if there's anybody more knowledgeable about what makes a good professional wrestler, whether it be female or male, than Danny Davis. And again, like I mentioned, undersized, but certainly mentally oversized. He certainly knows the ins and outs. And I think anybody that wants to learn this business, if they don't at least talk to Danny Davis, they're missing a great opportunity to be elevated from a bachelor's degree to a master's degree.
One of the things great about this event, and we hate because of work issues, Chris Ellis couldn't be a part, who is a big part of the Talking Memphis Wrestling family. He was not able to come. Pat Trammell there, Michael St. John there, spent a whole lot of time with Pat, with Michael. Obviously, by the time he got there, I was covered up, and one of my regrets is Michael and I didn't get to hang out very much, but I appreciate him coming very much. I was thrilled to death, and it did my heart good. And we'll go ahead and ask this question. Quick answer, Michael, because Dave Channel says, did Michael St. John take the Jarrett Express bus down to Texas with the boys? And you spoke of that many times. Let's say, since we've discussed it a lot, answer that quick.
I did. I took it down once, but I couldn't tell you how many times I took it back. And it was always a unique experience. And again, that it led to camaraderie and led to wrestlers being better than what they were. And I think the education on that bus was as important as anything you would get in the ring.
Coming up a little later, folks, we have the great induction by Bo James, heartfelt, that made me cry, and the acceptance by Handsome Jimmy Van. Right now, this was a feel-good moment because Saturday night, for the first time, he wasn't a kid sponsor. He was a grown man, a part of this legendary night, and he did a wonderful job. Here's Pat Trammell inducting his friend, Michael St. John.
My goodness, it's a night for heroes, isn't it? As I was saying, it has been my honor to be a co-host.
I think Adam cut you off.
Talking Memphis Wrestling on Tuesday nights, along with Randy Hales and our next inductee. I first heard our next inductee in 1974 on Kicks 106 radio. When FM radio came to Birmingham. Since that time, he has had a most distinguished career in radio. He has He has he is a member of the Alabama Radio Hall of Fame. He has been a program director from coast to coast. As a wrestling commentator, the first promo introducing Hulk Hogan, he did. Terry Bollea became an icon because of Michael St. John. James Harris became Kamala in the back of Jerry Jarrett's yard through the artistry and magic of Michael St. John. He is accomplished in many, many things. He is a businessman. He owns multiple radio properties in Alabama and Tennessee. He's a husband. He's a father. Most importantly these days, he is the pawpaw to Joshua. And it is my great honor to present the Memphis induction into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame to Michael St. John.
I can't tell you how humbled and honored I am to stand before you today. I had the experience and the great luck and fortune and the grace of God to work with some of the most phenomenal people in the professional wrestling business ever. And I love and appreciate each and every one of them, but more so, I appreciate each and every one of you who love the sport we live. That being said, to my dear friend Dave Brown, to the late great Lance Russell, to Randy West, who was a phenomenal videographer, for all the wrestlers I have worked with, for the late great Lance Russell, Shane, your dear father, they were all wonderful to me. I had the opportunity to sit in those chairs and work with those gentlemen who are way behind, are way above what I could ever accomplish in professional wrestling. To my wife, Melanie, my daughter, Brittany, to my daughter-in-law, Katie, and my grandson, Joshua, thank you for being part of my life for the last 27 years. And to this wonderful group of people, and for everyone that may catch us on a videotape or on YouTube or whatever source you might have, and to the wonderful wrestlers that sit before me today, I love you and I thank you.
Well deserved. Should have done it a long time ago. It was absolutely fantastic. Pat, one as you're yawning now, right on my TV camera. You're not.
I'm
You're
not
great.
yawning. I'm not yawning.
You are great, but you're hard to produce. Anyway, what did you think about your induction? Because somebody asked, and I will say no to that. Somebody asked if you were nervous, and you bragged when I told you beforehand to go out. You kind of smarted off to me. Said, Randy, I've introduced that gum effing presidents. Don't you think I can introduce some bum named Michael? That's what you said to me, Pat. Tell the truth.
That's not what I said. I said I have introduced a president and two secretary of states. But let me say this: I did not do Michael justice because I couldn't do Michael justice. I was not necessarily nervous, but I was certainly emotional because Michael is a dear friend and brother to me. But Michael, before I ever knew Michael, Michael was a part of my life. Michael was in my radio when I was 14 years old, 12 years old. Michael came on the wrestling show, and of everybody on this show, I'm I'm the only real fan. that hasn't been in the business. And the part of that means the most is, Michael and I are to me, and I know to him. I mean, Michael is like family to me. And as you are, Randy, as Adam is, as a lot of our people on tonight, and it was one of the most tremendous honors that I've ever had, and I thank you for letting me do that. And that yeah, it was an emotional moment then. It's an emotional moment now. And congratulations, my friend. I love you.
I love you too, man. That was. I can't. It's overwhelming. What you guys have meant to me over the past few years, you will never, ever be able to realize. And what these people, to even know that they still remember the days and the events, and for them to come up and say the most wonderful things they could ever say to somebody on Saturday night, it takes my emotion away. You guys are too good.
I want to know, Michael, where that plaque is.
It's in the studio of Fun Radio with a Fun Media Group in Arab, Alabama, sitting front and center. I haven't put any candles or flowers around it, but so far I've got it where, and it's already gotten noticed. We've already had, I can't tell you how many people have reached out. I don't have Facebook. My wife does, and her Facebook is blown up about all of this. People have reacted to some of the posts I put on Twitter with some of the things, but and the number of people that have in this area. I got contacted today by a newspaper here in Gunnersville, and they want to run the story. The Arab Tribune wants to run the story. It's been submitted to AL.com, which is the old newspapers that are online now. So for whatever reason, they're wanting to say nice things, but hopefully it'll be a feel-good story and everybody will enjoy it. But it's beyond my capacity to say thank you as much as I want to say thank you. I can't say it enough, and I can't say how much I love you guys. I really do, from the bottom of my heart.
I think one thing we've accomplished here on Talking Memphis Wrestling with the co-host, with the production team, with myself, and most of all, folks, without Dave and without PJ and without Thomas and BC and everybody else, it's about the people that watch this show. It's about the people that we have two different type of people that watch this show. And it's obvious. First of all, it's the people that grew up watching Memphis wrestling and love it. And they like to go in the past. There's people like BC. There's people like PJ from Thailand that watch this program. PJ loves Jerry Lawler from the WWE, and she's followed and researched his whole career. I don't want to miss out on anybody. People like Bo James watching here today. I'm telling you right now, and I said this earlier, this wasn't, even though that we paid some of the wrestlers that came in from halfway across the country to come in here. This Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame means something. Jimmy Valiant says something very interesting about his plaque and very interesting about Memphis Wrestling. But first, he had to get inducted. And I picked somebody that is family to me. But most of all, the reason I picked this guy is Jimmy Valiant wanted this guy. Because Jimmy Valiant is like family, like a father, grandfather figure to Bo James. So we're going to watch Bo James induct Jimmy Valiant. Another thing that I would like to say, and we're going early tonight, and this is the last video that Adam has ready for us today. But I want to tell something, because this is the inside behind the scenes, and I'm moving around here, and I'm going to have to white balance here and clear myself up a little bit, as there we do. You know, I think people like to know what's going on behind the scene. Years ago, what was going on behind the scenes, some of it would have been illegal and would have got us in jail. So that's one good thing about today. There was none of that going on at all. But I won't say the name, but it was a member of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame that was there. He wasn't in this class, but he was a former member of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. And I was sitting because I had great help, and I want to thank Brandon Baxter and Bo James and Downtown Bruno, Bo and Brandon especially, gave me the opportunity to sit down off camera besides Shane and Dave to watch this thing. But I had a wrestler come sit by me and say, RH, I think you made a mistake. I said, well, what's that mistake? This was at the point of the show that we're about to go to right now. The person said, I think you made a mistake closing with Handsome. I said, what do you mean I made a mistake closing with Handsome? He said, have you seen him? I said, not in an hour. I've been out here. He said, well, you should go back there. I said, what's the problem? He said, he's sitting there, and I thought he was asleep. I said, well, he's been up all day, and he should be asleep. And he said, I just don't think you made the right decision. I said, of having him in the Hall of Fame? He said, no. He said, that's who you chose to close the show. And I said, when that red light goes on, I said, you'll see why I had him go on last, because not one son of a bitch in this building could have followed what he's fixing to do. And he said, are you sure? I said, I am positive. And you can judge, but first, Bo James will induct Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
Has this not been a wonderful night to remember or not? You know, there's been more love in this building today than has been in some churches, because we've got family here today. And you know, sometimes some of us wrestlers have to get away from each other for a little while to realize how much we respect each other and how much we love each other and how much we mean to each other. And the person that I'm asked to inducted here tonight, I've never had to be away from to know that. I met him when I was just 15 years old and as a teenage kid and in my early 20s trying to learn this crazy world of wrestling. I was traveling with him and I learned all kinds of great advice and great little nuggets of not just the wrestling business but life itself. And I'm talking about the boy that was born in Tullahoma, Tennessee, raised in Hammond, Indiana, and broke in professional wrestling in Chicago, but became known as the boy from New York City around the world.
Bo did great.
35 years, this man's been a part of my life and a part of my family. If you've ever been to his museum in Shawsville, Virginia, myself and my nephews and my wife and my father and mother are hanging all throughout his museum. He hangs in our homes. We love him. All the years, all the wrestlers and everybody that he's known, I'm the only person that from the wrestling business that's tattooed on his arm. And I'm right there with his kids. I consider him to be my wrestling dad. And you know, he came to Memphis, rolled in on TWA, and was supposed to be here one day, and that was it. He came for a tournament. And when he walked in the back of the Coliseum and Jerry Jarrett saw him, he saw money. He saw Lawler's next opponent. He saw something magical about this person, and they told me to make it quick tonight, and I said, hey, I'm talking about Handsome. He sells excitement, not time. But here we are almost 50 years later, and he's still headlining inside the Memphis territory. Here we are almost 50 years later, and they're talking about him for generation to generation of a wrestler and a fan.
Everybody has a Handsome Jimmy story. Whether you bought a picture or whether you rode with him in a car, when you speak to Handsome Jimmy, you're the most important person at that moment in the world to him because he loves you. You have given him a great life, and I hope I'm not stealing part of his speech here. But I have witnessed people come from all around the world to come to his museum at his home in a small mountain town in Virginia. I have witnessed grown men and women stand there and cry tears as they talk to him about how great he is. And I have seen him hug them and kiss them and tell them, I love you. And he truly, truly means it. And I speak for my generation of wrestling fan, and I speak for my generation of wrestler. We love Handsome Jimmy. More importantly, I believe I can talk for the generations that came before me that say we love Handsome Jimmy. He's a son of a gypsy. He's a wonderful human being. He's my wrestling pops. And he's right here, right now, taking a long overdue step into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. The boy from New York City, the son of a gypsy, Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
He's awake.
He's really fine.
Someday Jimmy,
I want to make him mine.
Comes rolling into Jackson. Now watch.
And he's neat and oh so sweet. And just the way he looked at me swept me off my feet.
We got a kiss.
Woo, mercy. Handsome Jimbo from Memphis, feel good tonight, baby. You know, first of all, Bobo, God bless you, brother. I love this kid. I love his family. He was just a teenager. You're right, son. And I'll tell you, I'm very proud of your organization, Southern States Wrestling. You know, I want to first thank Randy Hale and Terry Golden for putting all this all together. Put your hands together, y'all. Yes, 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 baby. You know, I'll tell you something. They worked so hard, and I came in a couple of days ago, me and Tommy, and we going back in the morning, ain't we, baby? Yeah, man, that's my brother. And, you know, Randy, he says, Handsome, I haven't slept in about 48 hours, man. I'm so excited. I got all this work to do, me and Terry. And I says, Randy, it's all right, brother, man. Me and Tommy, we ain't slept. Last time I had a good night's sleep was 1954. And Tommy, I don't even know if he ever slept, Jack. You know, but hey, that's just part of our business, you know. Y'all, I started wrestling 1964. And this is 2024. And someone told me, he says, Handsome, you've been wrestling 60 years, man. I says, well, I went there. I got an 8th grade education, you know. I could figure that out, but I didn't know until he told me. I said, well, man, you know what? I'm just launching my career. I'm just getting started, Jack. You know, I got things to do. And it's all about this great business of ours, man. You know, I tell you, it's something so special to the Boogie Woogie, man. Hey, I raised a dozen kids and a dozen old ladies, man, on this business, you know. And, hey, I wish I should have saved some of that. My daddy said, you know, son, it's not what you make, it's what you save. Well, I wish I would have listened to him because I'm still out here working because I got to eat. Yeah, I'm out here working every week there. But the thing is, man, people, I'll tell you, everybody says, of course, this is what it's all about. This is what family is, see? Not only with my boys in the back, but you all. Man, you all are the greatest wrestling fans in the world right here in Memphis, baby. Yes, I've been around the world 5 times, y'all. And they asked me, where they at, baby? We've been wrestling Madison Square Garden. You wrestled in the Cow Palace, coast to coast, like butter toast. And I said, where is this? The best wrestling fans. I said, it's in the South, Jack. It's here, Mississippi. Hey, it's Arkansas, man, Missouri. Hey, right here in Memphis, Tennessee, baby. And I'm so glad, so proud. And you know, it is funny. Hey, Bobo said I was born in Tullahoma, Tennessee. I'm a Tennessee boy. You know, all my family's there. But when I came in, that first interview I sent in, I told her, I was talking about, hey, all you hillbillies out there in Tennessee, man, one horse town, and I just coming in for one night, one shot. It was a round robin, and this is gospel, and I said, you know, hey, you food stamp, you know, tobacco spitting old ladies, man, and you know, wick raising kids, man. I really knocked all that, and man, I'm from Tennessee, you know. But God bless all my people, they're still there. And I'm so proud of this. I got to tell you something. I've been in just about everybody got a bucket list. And I have a bucket list. And I want to tell you the last thing on the bucket list in a minute. But before all this happened, you know, I was inducted in WWE Hall of Fame, the NWA, AWA, the XYZ, FBI, IRS. Man, I've been in all these Hall of Fames, but I never was in this one right here. And this is my bucket list, baby. And this right here is what I came for, what I live for. I love this, I love Memphis, and I love you all. And the last thing I want to say is, people, I got a wrestling camp that I've had 32 years, and it's in Charlottesville, Virginia. I got a Hall of Fame museum. I got plaques in every building on our compound, every building. But you know where this plaque is going? This plaque is not just going in my house. You're right, brother. You're right, baby. I'm taking this plaque. This is the most important Hall of Fame plaque, or whatever you want to say, because Memphis Wrestling with Jerry the King Lawler and Dundee and you name it, Tommy, man, everybody here, everybody, man, I could just name them all, just love you all, and this is going in my home. My home. I'm going to look at it every day until I go up in the sky with the Lord in that big ring in the sky. God bless you all. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, God bless. God bless. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, baby. Yes,
There he is, handsome Jimmy Valiant. And there are your 10 new inductees into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Thank you for being here tonight. Shane Russell, thank you. Great working with you. Good night, everybody.
With the getaway car. Listen to this crowd. A sellout crowd in Jackson, Tennessee. Look at that excitement. No, that wrestler that told me I made a mistake, I didn't make no freaking mistake at all. There's nobody that could have followed that. That was funny, that was emotional, that was great. The headline acts, one more time, not the last time, of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Again, it was the right decision, and that was a wonderful, 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 wonderful promo. Handsome Jimmy Valiant, the headline act, one more time, Pat freaking Trammell.
Well, I will say this, and that was, and Bo, I know you're on. That was a heartfelt and such a fantastic introduction. And just on a personal note, as you know, Randy and Bo, Jimmy stayed in the hotel with us, and I met him the morning I got in, or that afternoon, the next morning, and Bo is absolutely right. You feel the love from Handsome Jimmy the second you meet him. And you know you've met somebody that's going to be special to your life as long as you are on this earth. And, I was so honored to be with him, to visit with him, to hug him, to talk with him about he knew somebody from close to my hometown. And just, you've met a wonderful friend when you've met Handsome Jimmy Valiant. And you're right, Randy. There was nobody else could have closed the show like that, and nobody could have given an introduction like that. Bo, my hat's off to you. Just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night to remember.
Michael St. John, man, you can tell I'm fired up, a lot of work, and they were talking about Handsome hadn't slept since 1954. I hadn't that particular day, Saturday, I hadn't slept since Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was a lot of work, this project, and we've been promoting it for probably 6 weeks. And I have a big announcement that you guys don't know coming up, a half announcement coming up as well. Handsome Jimmy Valiant, was that the right choice to close out the night that night, Michael St. John? You're muted. You are muted. No, still muted.
Nope. Hey.
Now you are good. You're live. Now you're muted again.
Hold on. Are we there?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. How can you have somebody else? He's the headliner. He's the main event. I mean, you started out with the main event attraction with Lawler and Dundee, the greatest rivalry of all time, and you ended with Handsome Jimmy Valiant. You took bookends, the greatest ever. I mean, it's incredible. When I hear Jimmy and know Jimmy's history, I know now where Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper got their gimmick. Because Handsome Jimmy was the one and only, no baloney. He was the original. And the first time when he and I were talking and I did the interview, he's talking about giving me sugar. He and I laughed about the fact of him putting tobacco in my mouth in Nashville, Tennessee, putting a snuff or dip in my mouth and having me and my head spin for the next 3 minutes on a promo I was cutting with him. He is an incredible man. For him to have the life in his soul, in his body, in his being, to talk the way he did from the heart, that was incredible. But I got to tell you, Bo James is one of the most incredible people to emulate emotion. I could hear in his voice, I could see in his eyes the emotion that he was having in introducing Handsome Jimmy.
And we'll pick up some of this video once again. This is so good, we need to hear it again.
60 years, man. I says, I went there. I got an 8th grade education, you know. I could figure that out, but I didn't know until he told me. I said, well, man, you know what? I'm just launching my career. I'm just getting started, Jack. You know, I got things to do. And it's all about this great business of ours, man. You know, I tell you, it's something so special to the Boogie Woogie, man. Hey, I raised a dozen kids and a dozen old ladies, man, on this business, you know. And, hey, I wish I should have saved some of that. My daddy said, you know, son, it's not what you make, it's what you save. Well, I wish I would have listened to him. because I'm still out here working because I got to eat. Yeah, I'm out here working every week there. But the thing is, man, people, I tell you, everybody says, of course, this is what it's all about. This is what family is, see? Not only with my boys in the back, but you all. Man, you all are the greatest wrestling fans in the world right here in Memphis, baby. Yes, I've been around the world 5 times, y'all. And they asked me, where they at, baby? We've been wrestling Madison Square Garden. You wrestled in the Cow Palace, coast to coast, like butter toast. And I said, where is this? The best wrestling fans. I said, it's in the South, Jack. It's here, Mississippi. Hey, it's Arkansas, man, Missouri. Hey, right here in Memphis, Tennessee, baby. And I'm so glad, so proud. And you know, it is funny. Hey, Bobo said I was born in Tullahoma, Tennessee. I'm a Tennessee boy. You know, all my family's there. But when I came in, that first interview I sent in, I told her, I was talking about, hey, all you hillbillies out there in Tennessee, man, one horse town, and I just coming in for one night, one shot. It was a round robin, and this is gospel, and I said, you know, hey, you a food stamp, you know, no tobacco spitting old ladies, man, and you know, wick raising kids, man. I really knocked all that, and man, I'm from Tennessee, you know. But God bless all my people, they're still there. And I'm so proud of this. I got to tell you something. I've been in just about everybody got a bucket list. And I have a bucket list. And I want to tell you the last thing on my bucket list in a minute. But before all this happened, you know, I was inducted in WWE Hall of Fame, the NWA, AWA, the XYZ, FBI, IRS. Man, I've been in all these Hall of Fames, but I never was in this one right here. And this is my bucket list, baby. And this right here is what I came for, what I live for. I love this, I love Memphis, and I love you all. And the last thing I want to say is, people, I got a wrestling camp that I've had 32 years, and in Charlottesville, Virginia, I got a Hall of Fame museum. I got plaques in every building on our compound, every building. But you know where this plaque is going? This plaque is not just going in my house. You're right, brother. You're right, baby. I'm taking this plaque. This is the most important Hall of Fame plaque, or whatever you want to say, because Memphis wrestling with Jerry the King Lawler and Dundee and you name it, Tommy, man, I mean everybody here, everybody, man, I could just name them all, just love you all, and this is going in my home. My home. I'm gonna look at it every day until I go up in the sky with the Lord in that big ring in the sky. God bless you all. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, God bless. God bless. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, baby. Yes, sir.
Wow. Absolutely.
Incredible ending.
Wow. As he boogied out of the building, BC had a car ready, had Handsome's bag, and Handsome, we helped him off the stage there, and he went out to the people, and the people were going crazy. I appreciate everybody of Team Hales, appreciate Chris Gales in the house, watching this great event as we watch the great stuff we've seen today. Next Tuesday night, have we heard from Lawler and Dundee today, the great inductions we have had, including Michael St. John. Next week, we'll hear from Mo, the Rock and Roll Express, PG-13, the Dirty White Boy, and Danny Davis. A lot of stuff going on. Now, I hadn't promoted a wrestling event of that magnitude in almost 30 years. Almost 30 years. I first created the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame on March the 7th, 1994, with the first class of 1994. Hadn't done much since then, since 2001. Have my own life. But I've always had a passion and a love for Memphis wrestling. So I'm thinking one more time. Terry Golden had called me with a concept, and I threw another concept at him. And that concept was twofold. That concept was Lawler Dundee, a rivalry for the ages, and the 2000, as you see that beautiful picture. And I want every one of you watching this right now, I want you to look at that picture and see the great job Kevin did on that, and see that belt that we presented to them on that historic night. The Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2024. I am very happy. I told probably Pat and Michael and my buddy Randy West and Adam Dunn and every a part of my crew, my team, I told them this was the big blow up. This is the big blowout. This, I'm going to go out. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out. Obviously, a lot of us are getting older. We don't know how many times we can do this again. We just don't. In some ways, seeing some people, it breaks your fucking heart. It really does. But in other ways, especially that clip that we just saw with Handsome Jimmy boogie woogieing out of that building, and he got the people. He got the people. So I'm thinking, because I said, this is it for me. Well, this is not it for me. There's work to be done, folks. There's work to be done. What I want to do, I want to do it. I want to do it bigger than big. And I want to do it where my story began. I want to do it right here in Jonesboro, Arkansas, 70 miles, 1 hour away from Memphis, Tennessee. I want to do it again. The class of 2025 of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. What do you think? It will be bigger, a bigger venue. It will be history because we will go to a venue that was home for Memphis Wrestling in Jonesboro for a long, long time. It will be a lot of spectacular stuff going on 1 year from now in September of 2025 as the 25 class of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame is coming to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Pat, you weren't aware, but again, I'm not done.
It's a new birth. It's new energy. It's something we all love. Can't wait. Can't wait. Would be honored to be a small part of it. Going to buy a ticket. Going to be there. Looking forward to it. Give us a date. We'll block out the calendar.
Michael St. John, your thought and what I'm going to pitch the building right now. And folks, this is not at all confirmed. It's just the date I've marked off in my calendar without talking to the venue or talent or anything else. So again, this is not official. I am thinking September the 20th because Arkansas State football, I'm not competing against. Arkansas football, I'm leaving alone. I'm letting them do their deal. And they have a away game that night. But Michael, are you in for doing this again 1 year from now?
110%. The family reunion needs to be an annual event. I think it's a wonderful decision. Let's get planning on it.
All right, what I want to do right now, and both of you guys, I want dude, we're going. It's been a dynamic show, and Dave's channel with a great comment. Adam, I want you to go to the design. I want you to go to the top of the pictures, and then Pat and Michael, I want you to handle this. We'll do it rapid fire and quickly as they'll go bam, bam, bam. A lot of the great attendees talked about this great show and sent in pictures on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. Michael, you and Pat, this picture slideshow, you guys handle this.
Well, that's the best combination of the night with Bo James and the legendary Randy Hales, Pat.
Two of my favorite people in the world.
This, let me butt in. This happened at 1 o'clock in the morning as we were leaving. Pat, we'll let you do this one because Michael had gone back to Arab. Here is at 1 o'clock in the morning, Hansel and I hadn't slept in days. We were about to head back. You probably can tell I hadn't slept, but take this one rapid fire.
Well, Bo and I had just gotten back with Dr. Tom and Jake and Tommy Rich and Gail from a late dinner after the show. And Hansom's got as much energy as 87 years old as all of us. And y'all are headed out to the airport. So just one more night on the road, one more town to go.
BC Collins, our buddy that's been commenting, BC the Mutilator, he was there, and we appreciate him as well. Go ahead, Adam.
I'll tell you
Couldn't have
what.
done it with him. We couldn't have done it without him.
I want to say something right here, right now. The unsung hero of everything we have ever done on this show and on the Night to Remember show, our great friend Adam Dunn. Thank you so much, Adam.
I'm telling you, I'm nominating for Videographer of the Year if the Academy Awards are listening.
Absolutely. And the two guys that made it happen right there. Love meeting Terry, love meeting the KAW team. Just a wonderful, wonderful human being. As Randy, of course, you know what you mean to me, but just enjoyed meeting those guys so much.
An incredible team right there. Incredible team.
Let me sneak in here, and this is from that night. The person on the right was getting an award for the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. In 1981, his very first Nightmare tag team partner, it wasn't Ted Allen, it wasn't Ken Wayne, it was that man that looks like Santa Claus there. He's from Jonesboro, Arkansas. He was in the same class as Jonesboro High School in Jonesboro, Arkansas as me. David Oswald came to Jackson, Tennessee, and Danny and David hadn't seen each other in about 44 years. What a great, great picture.
Two legends right there. There's handsome Jimmy smiling. Boy, doesn't he have $1 million smile? And Randy, you're looking good there, my friend, as well.
All right. Handsome. This is the Dirty White Boy and a fan.
Spellbinder, you talked ad nauseum about him. He is absolutely one of the most unsung heroes of Memphis wrestling. The man was a superstar then, and as a person today, even a bigger superstar.
Reggie B.
Lance Jade and the Spellbinder, a representative of Power Pro Wrestling.
That part of the part of the memoriam for the greatest competition, the greatest feud, if you would, in Memphis wrestling ever, and Superstar Billy and Jerry the King Lawler, Dave Brown, Shane Russell. You know, I made a comment to Shane, and I really mean it. Shane got all the best of his daddy, but he got taller. So great guy. And Randy, of course.
Yeah, thanks so much to Scott for putting that together. I had the opportunity to look at Dundee's picture in the back, and that is just wonderful work. I'm sure they'll treasure that forever.
There's the Rock and Roll Express, and you're going to have to help me with the gentleman in the middle.
He was a fan. A lot of the fans had the opportunity, Michael and Pat, as Pat and you both witnessed, a lot of fans got to take their pictures.
Same fan with Handsome Jimmy.
Yes, rolling into Jackson, TWA. Love that shot.
Yeah. I do too. I do too. He's 87, did you say?
I think that's what Bo, is that right? I think that's what Bo told me, yeah.
That is incredible. That is incredible. Superstar Billy and that fan's in a lot of shots. That's cool.
Yeah, I stole those pictures from that guy. I don't know who he is, but I stole them. I stole them, Michael. I stole them. How about this? This is a great picture, Michael.
Wolfie D and Sergeant Danny Davis. Boy, there's a guy. You know, Wolfie D could look at it. He's still got those huge arms, but he could work. He could work like a son of a gun, and the man that could not only work but can teach. Now, the incredible. I called him Sergeant. I think I called him General Danny Davis. He was Sergeant Danny Davis. Now he should be Professor Dr. Danny Davis.
Lance J. Coco Ware, the Birdman. Did you talk to Coco, Lance? Michael?
Yes, I did. In fact, did an interview. Hopefully we'll have it next week with Coco Beware. Coco has got a great sense of where this business has come. And we talk about that on the interview a little bit. Hopefully we'll see it next week. Dave Brown.
Great picture of Dave Brown, absolutely, with Lance in the background. That's Kid Wicked, Tony Williams from USWA and Power Pro Wrestling. How about this one, guys?
Jerry and Jerry. Jerry the King Lawler, Jerry Calhoun, perhaps the best referee to ever referee in professional wrestling.
All right. How about the job these guys did?
You got two incredible talents there. Shane got it all from his daddy, and of course Dave Brown is immortalized. He's fabulous. Hall of Fame in every direction. And downtown Bruno, I had the most fun talking to Bruno backstage for about 30 minutes. This man is incredible. I did not realize that he is on the city council in Walls, Mississippi. I can tell. I guarantee you he'll be reelected time after time again because the guy can cut a promo.
Sure does, and we'll hold up on that right now, and we'll hold that shot and come back with me. But I want to tell you a story as we come back to me right now. So this afternoon, I had an Uber ride, came back to work, Pat, making some money now after being off for several days, and I had an Uber ride to South Haven, Mississippi. So it's funny, when I was in Memphis, I called Bruno's phone number. And I'm going to invite Bruno because I like Huey's, and there's one in South Haven. So I called Bruno and didn't answer the phone. I didn't leave a message. So I went to Huey's after I dropped off my ride, and I ordered my food, and I got my food. And so Bo called me on the phone, the great Bo James that did the induction of the night, without a doubt in my mind. Bo called, and we were talking about the event. All of a sudden, the guy with the deep voice said, "Hey, sir, you're talking too loud. Give me a break." And I'm thinking I'm having a fight in that restaurant there, and it was downtown Bruno. It was just a coincidence. He didn't notice it at all that I had called. He just lives 5 minutes from the restaurant that I was at, and he showed up, and he heard me say something to Bo about wrestling, and he looked and saw it was me, and he came up, and that was classic. Let's go back to the picture that we left with, and that was of Brandon Baxter. And I'll just say this about Brandon, and Brandon is the person I brought to Memphis in 1995. I had two people there that allowed me, that worked their ass off, that produced the event once it went on the air. So I could sit beside Shane and Dave and watch the program. Brandon Baxter and Bo James helped me out big time. So Adam, is that all the pictures? Here's one more. And Pat, your favorite wrestler.
The Tommy Wildfire Rich, first wrestler I ever had a conversation with in 1979. We reminisced, remembered that, had dinner together. Just great to catch up with Tommy.
Doug Basham, Michael, the nephew of Danny Davis, former WWE superstar.
Absolutely good guy, and I had a chance to say hello. And I'd worked with Doug a couple of times, but never had an opportunity to really chat with him. But had some great camaraderie out at the event. It was totally family reunion style camaraderie. I loved it.
All right. How about this shot?
I think Bill is saying something to Jamie like a dad would to a son in that shot.
I think so too. Look at Lawler. He's all wanting to know what's going on. From Power Pro Wrestling, Mr. Personality, Derek King.
I enjoyed visiting with Derek backstage.
Yeah, he's great.
We talked 15, 20 minutes.
I like this shot too.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's classic. I think it's inverted, but that's a great one of Shane and his dad on the poster, and of course Dave Brown.
Yes, sir.
And Tony Falk was
Tony
Shane.
Falk, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. He was there.
Talked to his son as well.
Yeah.
Shane and Handsome Jimmy. This was in the meet and greet. Danny Davis with Shane. Some good ones there.
All those pictures are courtesy of Shane Russell's Facebook page. And man, weren't you impressed? We didn't show it today. We'll show it next week. Kerry Morton did a good job doing the inductions.
Yeah, Kerry did a great job.
Kerry is one that I didn't know him until Saturday night, and I had a chance to talk to him for about 30 minutes. He is an incredibly smart guy.
Yes.
Worked with did PR with the Carolina Panthers. He's now working with the NWA wrestling events, and I was his dad introduced me. Of course, Ricky and I go way back, and we even talked about his grandpa. We even talked about Bald Eagle, of course, Ricky Morton's dad, and. I mean, I came away from there totally impressed with that young man.
I did too as well. We'll be back with closing shots, but Michael St. John earlier in the night, he had a couple of more, and these are some roving interviews from Michael St. John.
Here in Jackson, Tennessee, King Carl Fergie. He was on the show with us a week or so ago. Great to see you. Looking great, my friend.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. But you need to mention the real King, when you introduce me, okay? I see they got another King back there in the corner. I think he requested to stay over there, tuckered down in the corner away from me. So
hopefully you two might not. You might have to run into him before the night's over.
Nah, you know what? I'm going to have a little pity on him. He's getting old,
Oh, man. Hey, tell us about yourself. How are things going?
Everything's good. Everything's good. I couldn't decide, Mike, whether I wanted to be a wrestler tonight or an insurance man, so I brought both of them, so I just want to let it.
Some great photos from back in the day.
Thank you. Yeah, that's old school stuff, and people are excited to see that stuff, yeah.
Well, great crowd here today. It's great to have you here.
It's awesome, yeah.
It's great to be remembered, isn't it?
Exactly. It's the fans, yeah, they're awesome.
King Carl Fergie, folks. You remember him. Night of Legends, the night to remember here in Jackson.
There you go.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Casey.
What a show tonight. A different show. Great highlights. More next week. We will have inductions. We'll probably show a little bit of the Lawler Dundee stuff again, a little bit of the Handsome Jimmy Vagan stuff again. We will see the speeches and the inductions, the Sir Mo, the Rock and Roll Express, PG-13, Tom Pritchard, the Dirty White Boy, and Danny Davis. It will be absolutely excellent. Closing comments, last steak, Pat Trammell, thanks for everything you do, and it was great to hang out with you in Jackson.
It was absolutely a night to remember. It was a very special night that I won't forget. The honor that I had to induct my friend Michael is something that I'll remember forever. Well deserved. Didn't do him justice. Couldn't do him justice. But anyway, just thank you very much for that opportunity.
Thank you. Love you. And Michael St. John?
Hey, he did great. Don't let him give you this, that he didn't do me justice. He did overkill. He put me so over like Grover. It's like candy, taking candy from a baby. Great job. Thank you, Pat. Love you, brother. Hey, we don't get to see these kind of things very often. We don't get to do them. We get to see now what people actually saw. All these wonderful fans out there tonight, and so many I met. BC, thank you, by the way, for those pictures. I'm looking forward to that. Eddie Austin was the first person that came up and said hi. I met so many people. The gentleman that came from Lima, Ohio, that is starting a wrestling collection or has already started of ring gear of wrestling. That's an incredible thing going on. A young man brought 3 of my baseball card. The only time I've ever been on a baseball card, I didn't buy at a stadium. But some old wrestling baseball card, I call them baseball cards because I collect them, but me back in 1978 with Nick Goulas and Goulas Championship Wrestling in Nashville. And I appreciate the opportunity to sign those for that gentleman. And I'll tell you, all in all, Randy, I did not hear the only complaint I heard ever on the night was that the men's bathroom toilet wouldn't flush. But other than that, there were no complaints. Everybody went away happy. We're going to have a hard time. I'll be glad to help you in any way I can, but we're going to have a hard time matching what you did last Saturday night, next September 20th, 2025 in Jonesboro, Arkansas. But God willing, I'll be there.
It's Jonesboro, Arkansas. That's my hometown, and I have a plan. For Pat Trammell, for Adam Dunn, for Michael St. John, and for you guys that's so loyal and watch this show, I hope you enjoyed the flashback to A Night to Remember, and expect more next Tuesday night. Absolutely 100%. Be here next Tuesday night as we'll wrap this thing off. Until then, good night, everybody, for Talking Memphis Wrestling. Thanks for watching.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hales and special guests.